litigants, lawyers, and the media. Now, what I'm seeing here is the media will then be allowed in this proceeding. And the question would be, why the change? Should we be concerned? Is it because has it happened before? What I'm picking is we haven't seen this change before.
Very well, Ankey. Now, one thing, I mean, I need to take Kenyans back to what constitutes a court.
All right.
A court is actually the judge, the court assistant, as well as an advocate. Whichever place, even if it were to be in Malindi, if the Supreme Court decided to sit in Malindi, that could constitute a Supreme Court probably constituted and actually sitting at Malindi.
All right.
Now, we have, when you look at the structures of the Supreme Court, most of them were built during the pre-colonial era, for instance, in that even the swearing in of advocates, newly admitted advocates, nowadays you see it being, depending on the number of advocates they are admitting to the bar.
All right.
They've they have kept changing. They have kept changing the venues. At one point, they were admitting 800, and they did it at Milimani High Court, and people were wondering what is happening because essentially, traditionally, all advocates are admitted at the Supreme Court. So what we're seeing, because I understand the venue they're talking about at the Milimani High Court is the Milimani Ceremonial Hall.
Yes.
It is extremely expansive. Now that we are post-COVID, people care about space.
Exactly.
And the kind of rooms we have, or courtrooms we have at the Court of Appeal, or rather the Supreme Court, because it houses both Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, are a bit smaller. Which is why, again, when you flash back a little bit, you will see that during the hearing of the BBI election petition, the court could not sit inside a courtroom. It had to make makeshift tents outside the Supreme Court car parking lot.
Right.
That is where it converted to be, where it was sitting as a court.
So there is no problem, there's no cause for alarm, especially right now as far as the venue is concerned.
There is no cause for alarm, absolutely.
And absolutely, we're actually seeing the two tents now again being set aside for lawyers and journalists who will be covering the case that will be streamed live. So you do know that you'll have access to the proceedings as well, because there's been an issue of fake news that has been streamed on social media ever since we started the elections. There are also concerns about the media being allowed to be independent through this time. So that is actually cleared. The change of venue has no effect, no cause for alarm. Now, let's take a look at the legal teams, because now we have them out vividly out to the public, what Azimio team has put together as teams and what the Kenya Kwanza has put together as the legal teams as well. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. And Azimio flag bearer Raila Odinga has assembled, I believe, more than 30 lawyers to argue out his case in the upcoming presidential election petition. Now, just to mention a few, almost obviously, Senior Counsel and Siaya County Governor-elect James Orengo will lead the team of advocates according to this particular political analysis, and will be assisted by former Attorney General Amos Warko, who steps in as a legal advisor. Wakili, you're allowed to help me assess this particular report. And in incoming Kisumu Senator Professor Tom,
the team that will be representing these representing them in challenging these wins.
However, remember, not very new faces, is it?
Not very new faces.
Yeah, so
yes, you'll understand that what we're dealing with, in as much as it's about law, it's also about politics.
Okay.
And which is why you'll see some of the politicians, lawyers or senior counsels, being at the forefront. Remember, in the Azimio team, we have the deputy president, the contestant for the deputy president, Martha Karua, sorry, pardon me. Being senior counsel, we equally have Kalonzo Musyoka, being arguably number 3 in terms of command in what they were saying. What we're likely to see an extremely entertaining legal drama for the next few days.
Okay.
The only issue is that time will be constrained. Remember, court is supposed to make a decision after the filing. It's supposed to make a decision within 14 days. Therefore, again, the luxury of time will be one thing that we will want to look at going into this petition.
All right, now for the sake of fairness, let's take a look at many more and also move over to Kenya Kwanza team and hear your thoughts as well. But also we'll be hearing what the public thinks of these proceedings as far as moving back to normalcy is concerned. Now, among the other issues or facts in issue, they will also seek to have the election invalidated for being conducted as an event and not as a process, according to this analysis, and poke holes in the credibility of the final result, given the disowning of the same by 4 commissioners. Now, according to, and as far as Azimio's team is concerned, Orengo and his colleagues will battle it out with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission councils, led by former Attorney General Githu Muigai, who will be backing or having backing of advocates like Kamau Karori, and of course Eric Gumbo, Peter Wanyama, and Edwin Mukele, among others. The president-elect now, for his defense, has assembled a team as well, Wakili, and that is led by Senior Counsel Fred Ngatia, who is trending this morning on Twitter, who granted President Uhuru Kenyatta legal victory in the 2013 election petition. Ngatia will have the backing of renowned city lawyer, who has been tweeting this morning, saying he will give a clear prediction as far as the petition will be proceeding. That is Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi and former Law Society of Kenya LSK President Nelson Havi. Other lawyers include Ruto's chief agent, Professor Githure Kindiki, Adrian Kamotho, and Collins Kiprono. Now let's take a look at that team.
Well, Ankey, when you look at the team assembled by the Deputy President, you'll now appreciate that it takes what is going on at the Supreme Court with a lot of concern, and it doesn't want to take any risk. Remember, Senior Counsel Fred Ngatia actually was contesting to be Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, or he fronted himself to be Chief Justice. He's an extremely seasoned lawyer. When you look at